What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Truzz the Bank podcast. Very few podcasts before the NFL draft remain. Probably today, we'll make sure to get another one out there before the NFL draft on Thursday. So make sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you guys want to get notified. And if you didn't see it, we're going to be giving away a jersey for every player the Ravens draft this upcoming week. So make sure to see all of those instant reaction videos. Going to be doing it through there. So just make sure to comment down below on all those videos. They're like 3 to 5 minute videos, so make sure to stay tuned. Come back on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday. It's going to be a ton of fun. But with that in mind, obviously a very draft-focused episode, but overall, this should be some good topics. We got some good questions coming in, so if you guys want to ever ask us a question or anything like that, Twitter, YouTube community section. If you guys want to email us, anything like that, we will talk about it. But Joshua, before we even get into anything, how are you feeling today, 1 week before the draft?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good, man. I mean, it is a big night for us. I mean, we'll be on five, 6 picks coming up this Thursday. I know the Constant Company are probably a little upset that they only got about 5, 6 picks. So don't be surprised if something happens. Please don't be surprised if something happens or somebody go. I'm not saying Lamar, and we're not about to even dig into that. I mean, tonight is a good night. Tank is out here in Las Vegas, and he's going to put on a show against Ryan Garcia. So, I mean, if this episode don't drop tonight, hopefully, Tank comes out to W later today. But it's definitely a good thing. I see you got your Grizzlies.
I did. I was wearing it backwards, but I decided, we're gonna flip it forwards today. Go Grizzlies.
I like the Grizzlies, when they're not playing the Lakers. Outside of that, they're my guys. I like them. But man, it's exciting. This is going to be a exciting draft, nevertheless, because we're sitting at 22. You never know what can happen. We don't have a second round pick. Next time we pick is in the third and the fourth and the fifth, I believe. So this first round pick, it is very, I would say, it plays a significant role because we don't need a day one starter. It could be either on defense or offense. At the end of the day, we just need that guy he has to be an immediate impact guy. So I'm looking forward to this upcoming Thursday, man, for sure.
It's going to be a lot of fun, but let's jump right into it. You mentioned it. This first round pick is going to be huge, and we do need a day one starter, and we do have some needs. So, let's talk about it. What are the 5 biggest needs for the Ravens heading into the draft that you think they need to fill? And we can just kind of talk about these positions. I think there's 2 that are obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think there's only one that's obvious, and that's corner.
Yeah.
Number 2 corner.
And everybody will probably say, "Oh, we still need a wide receiver. We still need a wide receiver." I know people want to be like, "Oh, Odell Beckham." Unfortunately, even though he's signed, he does have some allegations going against him. I hope everything comes out false and works in his favor. He'd be a Raven for us come this fall. But
I don't know if you saw Joshua. So, because TMZ put out that article.
Yeah.
In the TMZ article, it says, we interviewed the owner of the club or whatever, and he says, this person was never in that area. We looked at all of the footage. This claim is completely false.
Well, then there it is.
And that was in the article.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad it worked in his favor. That's all we needed, man. We spent a lot of money on this guy. He gets hurt, and then he just got into an altercation. Oh man, damn Ravens. But but outside of that, man, we haven't made a move for Rock Johnson. Well, we haven't completed a deal on him, nor have we worked on bringing in Marcus Peters. I know some people, including McConnell, say, "Hey, I'm okay without MP the Juice Man being back." I would like for him to come back on a veteran minimum just for the depth piece. He does bring that edginess, that attitude. But I like one position we have not spoken enough about. I think we actually may need to speak on is edge rusher, or even inside defensive lineman. I said it before. I say it again. You never know what can happen. Come that 22nd pick, we might be getting Brian Breesy out of Clemson. Now he is a Maryland guy, but he is a guy that you line up all over the field. He is a big behemoth. we are missing Calais Campbell. Also, I don't know if you seen any reports lately. I have seen some type of ties in regards to us maybe drafting Nolan Smith out of UGA. He's another guy. You put in the 3 technique, 4 technique. You can move all around on that defensive line. I know people are saying I know people are seeing David Ojabo working out. He's looking good. He's looking good, and I'm wishing that he comes out the gate, shining. I hope Odafe, with him being his 3rd year, with David being on the opposite side, that he gets all the work that he can possible. But I think with no Justin Houston signing as of yet, no JPP signing as of yet, I think, edge rusher may be the second biggest need, because you still need someone that is more proven, that is more solid, that's someone that can really, set the tone on that defensive line. I mean, we had Justin BK great. Broderick Washington came into his own beautiful. But when it comes to consistent play on that outside rush, we need that type of guy.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that probably would be the second biggest thing, because we rotated 3 pass rushers last year and it worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Justin Houston, we had JPP, but like now we're going to have Ojabo. I think he's going to be the one. The assumption is Odafe is going to have to step into that too. But, it doesn't have to even be a first round guy. Getting someone in the 3rd could be very valuable at that position. I know last episode we talked about a guy like Zach Harrison. Where it's like, just getting somebody that can help and be like a rotational piece in that pass rush, because you don't have to have 2 guys just every single play, right? If you just have a group of guys that can consistently go in, be rejuvenating to that defense and get quick pressures, and then be able to, take that back seat, I would say, okay, you know what? It's 3rd down. Odafe, you're great at stopping the run. Maybe you step in on this 3rd and short, and in certain situations we switch them in and out. I would agree that that's the second biggest need. Now, heading into kind of my 3rd, I'm not going to say it's wide receiver. I'm going to say it's a physical wide receiver, or a big body physical wide receiver. It doesn't have to be really big body, but I want somebody physical. And why I want that is, I hate to say it, because we've been complaining about it for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
we need somebody that can block. like we've been sitting there watching Miles Boykin block, and we've been sitting there watching all these guys block. And now it's like, oh man, our top 3 wide receivers are, like Bateman's like 6 foot, but he's pretty skinny. Aguilar is small. Odell is small. Good players. I have no problem with the wide receivers, but like, I would love to get, just a bigger guy. It doesn't have to be first round. If we got a first round, the big guy is Quentin Johnston. And I'm actually kind of not pro Quentin Johnston, but I'm not like as anti Quentin Johnston as I used to be. I can kind of see why they would do it. But, 3rd round, Cedric Tillman's a bigger guy. Xavier Hutchinson is a guy that I really like, in those later rounds, where it's like, getting somebody that can maybe come in. Again, don't have to be an immediate contributor as a big guy, but could be a red zone threat, could be a guy to throw in, in 3 wide receiver sets where you could still run the ball. I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think just overall wide receiver, or is there a certain kind of guy that you maybe, or, role that you maybe be thinking the Ravens need?
I love the fact that you brought it up. Honestly, I do feel like we still need a big body wide receiver, but just like you said, it more all around. We complained about it enough, when they put certain personnel in for whatever offensive scheme that they had coming up, for the upcoming play. Some defenses knew what to expect. When you put Miles Boykins in the game, we knew that he was not going to be receiving the ball 9 times out of 10. He was going to be blocking. So you can have a wide receiver. I think we talked about a couple guys. Our guy out of UNC, our guy out of Tulane. There was maybe about, I think they was all 6'2" plus. They had soft hands. They was very aggressive, catching the ball, but they also did play a role in a running game, holding up those defenders on the outside and, setting that outside block, for those wide receivers on stretch plays and things of that nature. So, it's definitely good to have that, because if you get a guy that's more all around, we don't be as predictable as we were before. So, I definitely like the fact that that you brought up that. So I guess I might have to say my 4th. I hate to say it, until there is a signing on the franchise tag or a contract extension. I will say QB, and the reason I say this because if we go into the year with Tyler Huntley, um, we'll go at even 500.
Yeah.
I'll wholeheartedly complete that. I will wholeheartedly will say that we will go 500. I'm not saying we're gonna go over 500. Now we go over 500, then by damn, shout out to Todd Monken, and that defense is going to be playing lights out. It has to be, because I don't trust Tyler Huntley. I really don't. I'm sorry, not sorry. Um, I do feel like we possibly may trade it. We may try to get a quarterback, whether it's undrafted, maybe someone from the USFL, maybe someone from the XFL. I don't know, but I do feel like until a certainty is a certain situation, I do feel like possibly bringing a quarterback, for training camps, seeing how they can outwork Tyler Huntley or whatever quarterbacks is maybe in training camp. Because I mean, it is this quarterback class is very thin. And if something's not done, whether it's a signing of the franchise tag or a contract extension or a possible trade for more picks, the best QBs are going to be the best QB um, is not taking no more interviews. He already took 2 interviews, and he knows, and he declined everybody else. He knows he's getting picked up by Carolina. He don't need to talk to anyone else. Now it'd be crazy if the Ravens found a way to trade up to 4 or even trade up to 1. Do I see Carolina giving up a Carolina got number 1? I don't see Carolina giving up number 1 for Lamar, but you never know what that organization may be thinking. You never know. If you know how to negotiate and talk your way, EDC, which EDC has shown he can do, maybe he can fleece the Carolina Panthers or maybe the Colts to maybe even get the Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. Because I mean, you constantly talk about, you hear in the pressers, you hear in every meeting, they are in this win now mode. They still want to be a contender. If you still want to be a contender, and if your franchise quarterback still feels unhappy, he does not want to sign, you find a way to get into that top 5 and get either Bryce or CJ Stroud. So that would maybe be my fourth concern. I mean, I want Lamar to be here, but at the end of the day, I gotta think for the team.
Yeah, and I have no problem with that. I think, whether it's drafting a quarterback, signing someone, getting an undrafted free agent, I don't love Stetson Bennett, but
Yeah.
he's familiar with Todd Monken. A guy like Max Duggan could go undrafted. A guy like Dorian Thompson Robinson could go undrafted. Malik Cunningham has said he's, willing to take kind of a hybrid role to help out the team, if they needed him, maybe wide receiver, running back, tight end, kind of throw them all over to just help him out. He's willing to do anything, So obviously the goal is Lamar, but that's still a need heading into the draft, just to get Lamar back. So I have no problem with that at number 4. And I think that makes it really interesting, because I think there's 2 other spots where we have question marks, and that's left guard, and that's who is the third safety. It could be Geno Stone.
Yeah.
But he's more of just like that pure free safety. I don't see him being a guy that can play close to the box. Which do you think is that 5th big need for this team?
I would say safety. For the simple fact that we can find offensive linemen. Yeah, we may have had a couple busts here and there, but in regards to our track record on both sides of the ball, when it comes to D-line, we have found gems. So I'm not even worried about, picking up a guy high. If there's a best player available, depending on who was on the board at that time, would I be upset? Yes, just like I was upset last year when we got Tyler Linderbaum. But seeing him play, it kind of worked out. But but I definitely feel like getting another safety, a hybrid guy, maybe a Brian Branch, Clark Phillips III. I know Clark Phillips III, little brother, plays for HBCU. I forgot, but I don't think he plays safety. I think he actually plays corner. But I mean, those are the guys that that could play a corner or safety role. Because obviously Mike McDonald likes his guys, especially in the coverage part, being a hybrid guys where he can move all around, which is a great thing for us. We saw how it benefited Kyle Hamilton last year. So I definitely feel like safety would be the 5th biggest need in so many words to speak. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I think I agree. I think safety is bigger need for the Ravens, because we do have someone in big sexy that we hope could come in and play that left guard position. We have guys. In terms of that strong safety number 3, like I just don't know if we have anybody on the roster that would be able to step into that. We have players that can play safety.
Right.
Geno Stone can obviously play safety, but I see him as a single high. Brandon Stevens can come in, but I don't want Brandon Stevens playing in the box at all. He can play up over top.
Yeah.
I feel like drafting someone, whether it's, obviously Brian Branch is kind of the big name at safety. I don't think, he's my number one. I really like, I'm blanking on his name right now, but Georgia's safety, I really like.
I know you're talking about
as a round 3 guy. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now, but getting that bigger, I know there's a few other guys, Boise State, I think his name is Skinner, or something like that. He's a bigger safety. So I think getting that guy, because the Ravens love to play 3 safeties on the field, is going to be more crucial, than left guard, where we do have players that can play the position. It's just whether or not who's going to win that spot. I don't think it's a position to avoid adding to.
Sure.
And I will say, honorable mention, running back, because we don't know the future of running back on this team, and we don't know who the RB3 is. It could be Justice Hill, but
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I think, there's, potential for that to be a position to target. So it's like, we've talked about, 7 positions right now. We only have 5 picks. So hopefully the quarterback situation gets involved or gets, solved.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to find out. And, we have a week, or we have less than a week. We got like 6 days, 5 days until the draft starts. So, it's going to be really interesting to see if the Ravens do make any sort of moves or make any. I mean, like Tyler Huntley signing the tender on Monday, but bigger moves than that. And seeing what's going to happen with it, because it's going to be super exciting, and